How's it going, guys? This is Legendary Nats, also known as Stan. And we're going to continue on with episode 5. So, the last episode, we came across this big buff guy with this burly beard and messed up looking chest, banging away on this sword right here. And, but what we really did, we just really went throughout the undead area. I'm forgetting names. I'm terrible with names. But we basically went through right after we had beaten the tourist demon and kind of went through a second area. And right now we're going to just kind of do our own thing. But right now we're going to go talk to Andre. I don't know why I was going up. I was like thinking I was about to go do something else. But we're going to talk to Andre for a minute and see what he has to tell us.
Well, hello again. You seem to be doing all right. Need anything forged? Most weapons and armor are mighty sturdy indeed, but every hunk of metal has its breaking point. If you notice durability running low, it's time to repair. You can ask a blacksmith like myself, or do it on your own with a grindstone. The nice thing about weapons, they never betray you. So pay them a little respect, eh? There are two types of weapon forging. There's reinforcement and there's ascension. Reinforcement is simple. It strengthens the weapon and nothing more. A simple task for any blacksmith. Hell, you could even do it yourself with a smith box. But ascension's a finer art. It alters a weapon's properties. Ascension is the territory of we blacksmiths. A smith box just won't do the trick. Start out with reinforcement. When that loses its charm, you can consider ascension. As you've noticed, this land is flush with the mad and wicked. You won't make it through the night without employing my services. You can forge armor just like you do weapons. Forging armor is even easier than forging weapons. Whether you forge weapons or armor first, well, that's up to you. But nobody wants to see you go hollow. So whatever you do, you'd better do it well. You forge it whether you
Alright, so he's just repeating the same thing over. So he basically just kind of goes over a little bit of what he can do and what you can do. But he is talking about being able to upgrade your weapons. And what we're going to do, we're actually going to upgrade our claymore here. So I have been collecting these different soul items right here. And so I'm going to use these two so I can get some souls. Gives me about a little over 2,000 souls. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reinforce my claymore so that it's now going to be a claymore +1 and claymore +2. So now it's going to have higher raw damage already. And I can also buy from him if I have enough. I don't think I do. No, I don't have enough. I could buy some more and actually get my weapon up to +3. And if I was to do that, then my weapon, which I think I may as well do it, because I'm going to want my weapon to be as strong as it can be. And I'm so glad they made it to where now we can multi-pop our soul items, because back in the day you used to have to put them in a slot and you had to consistently hit the X button to pop them all, and it was just very long and tedious. So I'm glad that they changed that. But we're going to buy us 3 of these, and then we're going to go back in and reinforce our claymore. So now it's going to be claymore +3 and a claymore +4. So now our weapon's going to do a lot more damage, and we should be one-shotting a lot of the enemies in this area. So we're going to just go right back on the top. And it's going to be important for us to have a pretty strong weapon, because we're going to be coming up against the boss here soon. So we're going to want to have something that's pretty strong. But yeah, so let's just continue making our way uptown and let's do this thing. Now we're heading our way back into the Undead Church, and the Undead Church is where one of the Bells of Awakening are at. See, now we're one-shotting enemies, which is what you want to be doing. Well, except for that, but I think that was because of where I hit them at. Or not. Well, that's fine. Doesn't really matter. But, what we're going to do, we're going to actually buff our weapon real quick, and, oh man, I just love that they fixed that. It was such a terrible. But you see, Big Buff Bro right there, we're going to try and get him to come out here. This guy is really strong, and if you're not careful, he can really just mess you up. There we go. See, that's what happens when you buff your weapon and also put a buff on your weapon. And he dropped just that. Sometimes he'll drop like his weapon and armor and stuff. So let's see. You want to be careful of that guy right there. That guy is a channeler. He shoots projectiles at you, and you also want to be careful of him because he will flat out buff any enemy in the area. And there's going to be a boss fight that actually has one outside of the boss room, but he will buff the boss. And there is a bit of significance to having, or to this enemy. He actually is a spy for one of the 4 lords that we're going to have to go up against. And he's keeping his eye out on specific characters. Or for specific characters. Or for specific people in general. So we're going to go ahead and head on down here. This is unlocking a shortcut to Firelink Shrine. So now we have a direct way to be able to just go directly to Firelink Shrine compared to what we were doing. And we're going to want to jump off there at another time. We're not going to do it now, but we're going to go right on over here and see if we have any new people in the area. Nope. See if
hello. I will
Petrus has
teach you
anything new
miracles.
to say.
A promise is a promise after all.
Nope. Nothing new at all.
Come again.
But that's just a quick way to be able to get back into Firelink Shrine. It's going to be important. That's going to be a major shortcut for us to come back through here later on. So, it's a good thing that we have that right there. And plus, we can actually rest at this bonfire instead of the other one. So that we can get the 10 Estus flasks instead of just the 5 that we have been getting. Because this is a kindled bonfire. So, let's do that. Let's go ahead and head on back up top. I went down the wrong one. I always do that. I always do that, man. So let's just continue making our way up. Hopefully I can, I'm going to have to start farming some souls here soon so I can actually start doing some fast dodging, fast roll, so I can stop being a fatty McFat. And I'll start having some good iframes, because right now it's kind of piss poor. I'm just going to be honest with you. If I can just be a little bit honest with you. So we're going to go on right through here and head up top. There we go. Oh, I got the rapier. That's good. Alright, so this is where we have to be careful because there are going to be a lot of enemies right here. And I'm going to try and get them to come so I can take them out all at once. There's about to be an interruption. See how much damage that they do. So, what you're going to want to do, you're just going to want to lead them down here, because if not, they will destroy you very easily. So we're going to just continue on, going on through. And we're going to try and take on this channeler. This channeler does a lot of damage. But compared to my sword, he just didn't do much to me. Continue coming on through. Get this item over here. I don't think there's any more of those little hollows anymore. And we're just gonna kind of do a little bit of exploring, see what's going on. Oh yeah, I forgot there's another Baldur Knight right here. Kill him. Oh, I got his buckler and a helmet and a Titanite shard. Nice. And we're gonna go over here. Okay, I can't do this whole fat roll thing. There we go. Get this humanity. And we're gonna come over here and break this door. Come right up here. Let's talk to this guy wearing the gaudy armor.
Oh, still human, are you? Then I am in luck. Could you help me? As you can see, I am stuck without recourse. Thank you. Yes, sincerely. I am Knight Lautrec of Karin. I truly appreciate this. And I guarantee a reward. Only later. Yes, very sorry. Your reward will have to wait. I've just been freed. Allow me some time. I am free.
He's got some interesting armor. He's not exactly the friendliest sounding guy. And here we just freed him from jail, so that's even better. But hey, he's going to give us something free, so, you know, that's always a good thing. And we're going to continue going on through. Now, in this particular area, you can actually, and what we'll do, I'm actually probably going to go and become human real quick, so I can show you this, and hopefully it will actually show it as well. But in this area is the first area that you can actually summon someone to come help you out in the boss fight, because this is, I guess you could say, the first real challenge that you come across starting out in this game. Because the gargoyles, which we're about to go up against, can be kind of a pain, especially if you don't know how to go up against them. But in every single Dark Souls game, they and Bloodborne, or not Bloodborne, but Demon Souls, they actually have every single time some kind of gargoyle enemy type or boss. So we're gonna go over here and we're gonna go ahead and reverse hollowing, and we'll level up again. I wouldn't be surprised if I get invaded, because that's just how things are. So I'm going to do this, get some more endurance. I like having my endurance bar. So let's see if that is where I can now have pants. Yes! Wearing pants, boys. I now no longer have to be a streaker. And that channeler, along with that big giant guy, do not respawn after you kill him the first time. So that's going to be something that you don't have to worry about. If that does come into mind, you don't have to worry about them anymore. So the channelers only come out once. A little bit of frame drops right there. But those other guys will definitely be there. There we go. Doing much better with my parries, I have to say. And what you do right here, just run. Or get absolutely wrecked like I am doing right now. I'm trying to tell you how to play this game and I get just destroyed right there. That's a good thing about having a weapon that has a wide streak like what mine does. It does kind of make life a little bit easier. I was just trying to get past all these enemies because I really don't want to get invaded. But it is very satisfying when you do a wide swing and you just kill all the enemies. Feels good, man. Alright, so right here we have a random NPC and there's another random NPC. We're not going to really want to bring in a random NPC. And I don't usually like doing summoning, but there is a reason why I want to do it this time. And it doesn't look like the other one did it, and it may be because I haven't talked to him. But we can actually bring out Solaire. Now Solaire does good damage to them, so we're going to bring Solaire in just for the fun of it. Solaire is a bro, so I'm not bringing in random NPCs though. I'm only bringing in Solaire. So let's go ahead and walk through the fog gate. Alright, so this is the first real boss that we're going to be going up against. And cut off his tail already, too. That's awesome. Probably going to hurt me. And once you get him to a certain threshold, the other gargoyle will pop up. But thankfully he is only half health. We actually didn't even need Solaire for this. I just decimated him like nothing. So there we go. That was the first real boss, JK. So let's go on through. Make my way downtown, walking fast. Alright, let's go right on up. Man, I missed being able to press the circle button and be able to climb a ladder much faster. It really sucks not being able to do that. Always be careful right here. I've walked off the edge the very first time I did it. And let's go over here and ring this bell. So we have rung the first bell, and we have the second bell that we have to go to, and I just got the achievement for it as well. There we go. And now we have to go down to Blighttown and go unlock that area and also ring the bell. But we have a new guy here that's standing in a very weird way. And let's talk to him.
Greetings. I am Oswald of Careem, the Park. Thou art a friend. For thee, a warm welcome. Cometh thou to confess with your kings? For indeed all sin is my domain.
This is Kareem, as he has said. Kareem is a very interesting NPC. He plays a part that if you accidentally, let's say you accidentally make a NPC mad or you piss him off, you can come up here and you can actually talk to him and request absolution. And when you do that, you have to pay souls. Now, some of them can be extremely pricey, so it's your best bet not to really piss off any NPCs for the most part, because it just, they're very, very expensive to try and pay for. And he's also a person that you can abandon covenants with. Like if I didn't want to be part of the Way of Light anymore, I would just abandon it with him. And then he has a few different items that you can actually purchase from, like Book of the Guilty, which is an online play item. It's a checklist of indicted players. The goddess of sin, Velka, oversees this list of the guilty who have disrespected the gods or their covenants, and shall one day face the wrath of the blades of the dark moon. Velka is a very prominent god of this world. Velka is one of my favorites, and they don't really do too much with her, but she is basically the one of the few gods that actually really went out of their way to help out mankind and found ways to get back at those who disrespect the gods or their covenants or anything like that through the blades of the dark moon. And there is another part of the covenant, or another part later on, that we'll find out how to join the dark moon covenant. Purging stones are ash-colored stones encasing a skull. Secret treasure, Arster, the Earl of Kareem, reduces curse buildup and breaks curse. Before I explain a little bit more about it, we're going to be going into an area that there is an enemy type called a basilisk that will actually build up curse. It'll turn you into stone, and when you turn into stone, you revert back. You'll be cursed, and what that means is that your health bar is going to be halved to a minuscule amount, and also will block your humanity. And a Persian stone is the only way to be able to get rid of that curse. Humans are helpless against curses and can only redirect their influence. The purging stone does not dispel curses, but receives them as a surrogate. The stone itself was once a person or some other being. The indictment slip sold by Bishop of Velka, goddess of sin. If you are killed by an invader, use this to report the crime of that trespasser. The indicted player will be added to a list of unfortunate souls who will one day face the wrath of the blades of the dark moon. Whenever you're actually going up against PvP peers, or just that one PvPer that keeps, or invader that keeps coming into your world, screwing up your progress, and you just really start getting really butthurt about it, you can actually use this, and it'll put them on a list for dark moons. And when you are being invaded, sometimes dark moons will come in. They'll actually hunt down the invader, if I'm correct on that. And then, of course, Homer Bones. So it's a good way to get Homer Bones. He does have a couple spells. Something, or not a spell, but this is a faith miracle right here. The miracle on the black-haired witch Velka. Temporary auto counter versus heavy damage. For each sin there is a punishment, and it is a task of Goddess Velka to define the sin and mete out the punishment. Basically, this is a damage over time, or not a damage over time. It's kind of like if you get hurt a lot and then all of a sudden you release a force of energy that does a lot of damage. And the more damage you take, the more damage you'll dish out, kind of thing. Velka's Talisman. This can only be used with specific miracles, I believe. And then he has a Blood Bite Ring, a Poison Bite Ring, which Blood Bite Ring kind of will help out with your resistance against bleeding. Poison Bite Ring helps out with your resistance against poison. And then the Ring of Sacrifice. Basically, if you wear this ring, if you die, you don't lose your souls for one time. These are extremely broken in Dark Souls 2, but in Dark Souls 1 it's a one-time use only, so if you lose it, well, you've lost it forever. So let's read a little bit about the Blood Bite Ring. When the infamous Bite Rings, commissioned by Sir Arster of Kareem, despite the dreadful rumors surrounding its creation, this ring is an unmistakable asset in its ability to help prevent bleeding. And then it basically says the same thing right there. And then let's look over the Ring of Sacrifice. This mystical ring was created in a sacrificial rite of Velka, the goddess of sin. Its wearer will lose nothing upon death, but the ring itself breaks. So, it's kind of like a get-out-of-jail-free card. So, that's all that we can really do for now.
It is only human to commit a sin.
It is only human to commit a sin. So that kind of shows you a little bit of how easy that you can make bosses by summon. Now, I didn't get a chance to say this, but if you do summon someone, like an NPC or a friend, to come help you fight a boss, it does increase the boss's health. So just be mindful of that. Now that I've killed the boss in this area, I cannot be invaded anymore. But I can still drop down my sign to help out others take on this boss, which I may do that in another video where I'll actually help out people in this area to try and take on some bosses and try to help them level up. And plus, it's a great way to get extra souls. So I'll probably end up doing that in another video. Alright, so the next thing I want to do, I want to come head over here. And we're going to go to a Firelink Shrine, and we're going to go speak with the Firekeeper over there in that area, and see what we can do with this Firekeeper soul that we had gotten. Let's continue on down. Ah, look who is here. We will talk to him in just a minute. So, still can't talk to her because she doesn't have her tongue, but we can reinforce our Estus Flask by putting that Firekeeper soul with her, and she will make it to where now, when we use our Estus Flask, it'll actually heal us up more. So let's go talk to our boy here.
Ah, hello there. I have your reward. Please, accept it. I am grateful to you for freeing me. Not enough for you? Well, let's not be greedy now.
This is similar to what I was saying earlier in one of the other episodes, where you speak with Petrus, he tells you to get away, and then he tries to tell, oh no, I'm sorry, here's a penny. That's basically what he did. We let him out of jail, and he gives us a sunlight medal. Let's see what that tells us. The sunlight medal. This faintly warm metal engraved with the symbol of the sun is the ultimate honor awarded to those who summon the warrior of sunlight and complete a goal. The symbol represents Lord Gwyn's firstborn, who lost his deity status and was expunged from the annals, but the old god of war still watches closely over his warriors. This is a part of the Sunlight Covenant. If you actually join the Sunlight Covenant and you start being summoned in other people's worlds as a Sunlight Bro, you'll actually get these, and the more of these that you collect, you can actually turn them in to the place that you join the Covenant to strengthen your bond in the Covenant, and that will give you different things. So that is something cool. Every Covenant does something along those lines for the most part, except for I think the Way of the White. I think the Way of the White is the only one that doesn't do anything like that. So that's a pretty cool little tidbit.
You again. What is it Our futures are murky. Let's not be too friendly now.
He's just a very odd fellow. Not a very friendly guy. Wears gaudy armor. That just seems impractical, in my opinion. And just doesn't want to talk. He just wants to sit there and give us pennies. So let's go ahead and rest down the bonfire. We'll go ahead and level up some more. Put a little bit more into strength. Some more into endurance. Alright. And that should be it. Right there, that's all I need to do. And let's see if I can actually equip a helmet. Oh, we didn't get to read the Baldur Knight helm. Let's see. Helm worn by the knights of the ancient kingdom of Baldur. It is made from thick iron plates. Baldur was a homeland of the Night King Rendil, but it came to ruin after the great many undead were spawned. It seems that, and we'll kind of catch on a little bit more, that a bunch of different people groups started migrating over to Lordran because they had heard of the story of the chosen undead, trying to break the curse of being the undead. And so we see that Baldur Knights have already started coming here. We see that there are people from Kareem. We see that there are people from Astora coming to Lordran, all looking for the same thing, wanting to find a way to break this curse. And we're going to find out more and more as we go through and, you know, start getting some of our some of our questions answered the way that we're needing it done. So, but anyways, I am now at my time mark, so I'm going to go ahead and end the recording here. Thank you guys for showing up and watching this episode, and I will see you next time. Peace.